A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. And we are me, Adeba. Well, tonight on the show, our focus will be on the Commonwealth Games and, of course, the Women's African Cup of Nations. We'll be talking about those two big sporting events. And, of course, we'll also give you a piece of football politics, what is going on here in the country. All right, so that's the outlook of the show. We urge you to sit back, relax, even as we take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. Let me quickly introduce our guest with us in the Lagos studio. Boluwaji Jegede joins us on the show tonight. Boluwaji, want to thank you for finding time to be with us on the show. I must say it's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while. Good evening, Lagos. Good evening to you, and good to be back on the show.
All right, I want to get your thoughts before we go any further. I want to quickly, just maybe a few seconds on the Women's African Cup of Nations, the news surrounding it, prize money, and all the other issues.
Yeah, for the prize money is a good one. I mean, there has to be an upgrade from previous editions. You know, just to ensure that we ensure that we promote the women football. You know, basically, and also give them something to cheer them on. I mean, it's very much important that we keep up increasing. I mean, if you just oppose the Women African Cup of Nations with the Women's Nations League in Europe, I mean, it's not where it should be, but I mean, the upgrade is actually brilliant from CAF, and I really need to give them kudos for doing the needful right there.
All right, let's go to Rabat, Morocco now, and of course, link up with Inkram Srina, a journalist based right there in Morocco. Greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight. Okay, I mean, I could feel the excitement in your voice. And I mean, let's just start with that. Everything around the Women's African Cup of Nations, what can you tell? Help us feel the pulse right there in Morocco.
I would say the mood is one of excitement, it's one of optimism, but also expectation. Women's football has grown tremendously here in Morocco over the past few years, especially after the Atlas Lionesses reached back-to-back WAFCON finals. So that was big for us, and they qualified for the Women's World Cup. There is genuine belief among our supporters and among Moroccans that this one could finally be it, you know, third time's a charm, as we say, and it could be Morocco's year, and we could finally win our first or our maiden WAFCON title. So yeah, fans have become much more familiar with players like our captain of Islan Shebek, Khadija Mishi, and yeah, the attendance in the matches has also increased significantly. So I would say the mood is very much that of excitement.
Okay, still talking about that. Let's look at it. Let's talk about the fans, the expectations.
Yes.
Right there in Morocco, you're there. You see everything. Years gone by, fans may not expect too much, but just like you said, having gone close, having put this much efforts, do you think Moroccan fans would expect nothing less than the trophy?
Yes, absolutely. I would say so. As I said, having reached the final twice consecutively, people feel so close, yet somehow with the defeats, they still feel a little far from it. So they are expecting the trophy this time around. And as you said, nothing less than the trophy. So of course that puts pressure and puts pressure on the players and puts pressure on the coach, hopefully positive pressure, if I say so, especially since this AFCON also is not just a regular, Africa Cup of Nations. It's also serves as qualification for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, as we know. So yeah, it very much matters whether be it's the title or going as far as we can. But definitely the title is top priority, and the fans expect nothing less.
All right, Bolaji, let me come to you. Before we talk about fixtures, let me just quickly get your thoughts, and we go back to Inkram.
Okay.
Does the prize money put more pressure on the would-be champions? A lot of us hoping that it will be Super Falcons. That on one side, and just like you said, now the fact that it's a World Cup, a qualifier for the World Cup, is the pressure more intense than, say, for instance, the last edition?
Yeah, so where the pressure is going to come from is the second part, which you mentioned. If you finish in the semi-finals of the WAFCON, you qualify automatically for the World Cup. So fighting for a place at the next Women's World Cup, I think that's enough pressure right there. Yeah, you've done it 10 times. You want to go the 11th time. You want to defend the champions, but that is a bigger pressure because, again, we've seen what the Moroccans have done in time past. We see the development, we see the growth, from their players. We see how they do well also in their club side. So, they are preparing, to actually host and win this time around. Yeah, they got to the final the last time. We did a comeback against them, but this time around, they want to win it and also qualify for the World Cup. But on our own part, yes, it's enormous pressure on us because, again, we are the face of women football in Africa, and we have to be there because if we're not there, then a lot of criticism will definitely come up. We've got experienced players who have gone through this route before, so all of that has to play a part to us, qualifying for the Women's World Cup and also winning the 11th title.
All right, like they say, local balance. The authorities won't want that smoke. Not qualifying for the World Cup is not a burden anybody in the Football Association or in the Sports Commission will want to bear at this point, especially coming off what just happened with the Super Eagles. Now, of course, the WAFCON is upon us, and we've put together a report just to preview the tournament and give you a taste of what is likely to come in the tournament. So let's allow you to enjoy this report. We'll come back for more.
Excitement is reaching fever pitch as the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations takes center stage. Once again, the Kingdom of Morocco rolls out the red carpet, making history as the very first nation to host the continent's biggest women's football showpiece 3 consecutive times. This year, the stakes have never been higher. With the tournament expanding from 12 to 16 teams, only the final 4 will seal a golden ticket to the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. Plus, a massive cash prize is up for grabs.
We've increased the prize money for the winner by 100%. So the winner gets 2 million, but we've also increased by 495%. The total money that was spent for the women's football on the continent was 975,000. Now it's close to 6 million.
For the defending champions, Nigeria Super Falcons, it's more than just a big payday. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and the relentless pressure to dominate, prepared or not, hangs over the squad.
It's about the World Cup. It's about also playing as if we are preparing for the Olympics. There can be no excuse to Nigerians for us not to qualify for the World Cup or even win the WAFCON.
This tournament is important because it's the World Cup qualification. So yes, there will be pressure on Super Falcons. There's always pressure. You're playing for Nigeria. There will always be pressure. We're a demanding, football-loving country, and we expect the best. Yes, and against all odds last year, they won it with probably less preparation. But again, it's Nigeria. We should be preparing more.
And here they come knocking on the door. Oladipo down the right flank, and it's just for Melo!
As Africa's undisputed queens with the legendary 10 titles to their name, the Falcons have been tuning their engines They've tested their might in 4 tune-up friendlies, back-to-back clashes against Cameroon in March, followed by a double-header against Senegal in June.
And guess what? A provider again today, Oladipo Shukura, with an inviting delivery.
Let us not be overconfident that, we're going to win everything just like that. It is very hard work. And if they win, it's because of very hard work. It's not that they're going there to go and collect the trophy.
It's quite shocking considering our girls won their 10th WAFCON title. I would have thought that everybody, like every brand, everybody want to jump and hop on it, talking about sponsorships and, just being attached to the Super Falcons right now. So it's quite shocking that it's everywhere so quiet. But however, our girls are preparing, they're doing their bit.
The chance for Nigeria to make it 2!
Now, Nigeria's unquenchable thirst for glory moves to the pitch on Tuesday, July 28th, when they square off against tournament debutants Malawi at the Al Medina Stadium in Rabat, Morocco. Africa's finest are ready to shine. The tournament kicks off on Sunday, July 26th.
And after knocking on the door in the first half.
All right, beautiful report there put together for your viewing pleasure. Our man, Austin Akpan, is with us. Good to see you, Austin. Another good day to talk sports.
Well, greetings to you, Yemi, and of course our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. And thank God it's Friday, back in London after the World Cup, getting ready to head to Glasgow, Scotland for the Commonwealth Games. But now the Women's Africa Cup of Nations getting our attention tells you that it's always an action-packed auto sport. So let me get into the conversation, bring back Ikram, who is right there in Morocco. They're ready to host us again. Ikram, remember we spoke in Rabat during the AFCON. Morocco, in some way, somehow, now love playing Nigeria. The men stopped the Super Eagles from reaching the final. The women, the Nigerian Super Falcons, stopped Morocco from winning the WAFCON title. Are there talks in Morocco that it's still a Nigeria-Morocco rivalry?
Yeah, without question. Nigeria remains the team to beat in Africa until someone consistently, of course, proves otherwise. They're defending champions. They're Africa's highest ranked team. And perhaps most importantly, they've kept the core squad from last WAFCON. So it stands that Morocco would want to beat them. As I said, they are the team to beat. Would I call it a rivalry? Maybe, yes. I feel like that's the proper word. So yeah, we have, I wouldn't say revenge or a debt to settle, but we would definitely like to face off and, continue where we left off.
And because this is also a qualifier for the World Cup, do you think it's going to make us see competitive football at WAFCON?
Absolutely, 100%. As I mentioned in my previous segment or my previous appearance, there's a lot at stake. There's the title, but there's also the road to competing for another bigger, more international title. So I feel like the players, the coaches are going to lay their cards bare and going to put everything they have on the pitch, and everyone's going to give it the best they can, and that's going to give us one very, very, very competitive WAFCON. And yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
Absolutely. Boluwaji, look, I'm so excited for women's football because we can tell that that gap is getting tight now. You put Nigeria, Morocco, South Africa, Zambia. Now you have to put in Ghana, Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yeah, very crucially. I mean, it's getting tight. The rest of the African countries are getting closer to us in terms of development, in terms of churning out, talents that can actually match what we've got. I know we've got enough experience. I mean, players have traveled abroad, but again, you look at what the Moroccans are doing, and I mean, they are the closest to us right now. Yeah, they don't have the Aziza Toshuala of this world. They don't have the Esther Okoronkwo out there in Europe, but again, in terms of the collective, in terms of the technical, output from some of the players, and we've seen the Women Champions League, in Africa. I think they are actually catching up with us. Zambia also, not to forget Zambia and also Ghana, who is doing their own beat because they got to the semi-finals of the last Women's AFCON Cup of Nations. Yeah, and I mean, the likes of Cape Verde, Senegal are also right there. I mean, Senegal was in Nigeria and we saw what they did, but again, it's still a developmental process for them. But in terms of catching up the Super Falcons, yes, I believe so.
Okay. I like your thoughts on that one. But let me just bring Ikram, just before we let her go. Just one question, maybe off the cuff a little. In terms of preparations, 4 years to the next World Cup, Morocco is going to be part of it. Does this tournament appear like a dress rehearsal for the next big thing, which is the World Cup? Morocco has shown the world that they can do it, and everybody knows that Morocco can do it. So does this feel like a dress rehearsal for the main one?
Yes, of course. Morocco is extremely well prepared, as you said. So from an organizational standpoint, the country has already proven that it can host major tournaments or international tournaments. We've seen it with the men's AFCON. That was a big thing for us, and Morocco succeeded 100% in hosting Africa, and it was huge. So this is the third consecutive WAFCON that Morocco is hosting. So it's not our first time or anything. So we are familiar. I wouldn't say it is just a rehearsal for the big thing, because this is also the big thing. And Morocco is good at doing great when it comes to big tournaments like these. So yes, it's gonna be good rehearsal. But yeah.
All right, Ikram, Serena, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, that's Moroccan-based journalist Ikram Serena giving us our thoughts. Bolaji, before we go on a break, we're about to go on a break. We talked about pressure. You admitted that the pressure would be on the Super Falcons.
Yes.
In terms of preparation, do you think we've done well?
No, I don't think we've really done well. I mean, just some couple of days ago, one of the friendly games was cancelled, and before the game against Senegal, right, in Nigeria, there are a whole lot of other friendlies that should have taken place, which was, not planned or maybe failed in the process of getting an opponent that would, help us prepare, for the WAFCON. So we've not actually, in terms of preparation, we have not actually been at our best, especially from the AFA. I don't think they've actually done so well. But again, we just find a way to, paper the cracks and, go into the tournament and do well. And it's not really the best, but somehow he just find a way to maybe it's a good luck charm, I don't know. But preparation, I know, is
at
very
some point
much
your
important.
good luck come to an end. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's quickly show you the fixtures. We will go on the break, that is. Let's quickly show you the fixtures. I'll go across now in a few seconds just to quickly reel out the fixtures for you. Of course, our hearts and mind with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And of course, a lot of us hoping that they go all the way. They've done it 10 times already. On Sunday, that's when everything kicks into gear. The Lionesses of Morocco will take on Kenya. Algeria will take on Senegal. On Monday, South Africa's Banyana will take on Tanzania. Cote d'Ivoire will take on Burkina Faso. Those matches on Monday. On Tuesday, that's the one a lot of the Super Falcons fans are interested in. Of course, we'll take on Malawi. Zambia will take on Egypt. We have to say and agree that the gap is really, really closing in women's football. Some do not agree. We'll see where that leaves us. But this is for you. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, the matches to be played. Let's go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll delve into the matches. And, of course, we'll also, at some point, We're talking about the Commonwealth Games. All right, welcome back. Before we start talking about the matches, there are some tidbits put together by our producer around the Women's African Cup of Nations. Again, I'll stand up and go to the screen just to let you in on some of the records that could be broken at the next Women's African Cup of Nations, and of course, some of the things that are in the record books. All right, so there you go. Women's African Cup of Nations, records that could be broken, record participation. You have Gabrielle Ungene, 8 WAFCONs. She's participated in 8 WAFCON. The captain of the Indomitable Lionesses could surpass Nigeria's Ebi Onome, and 7 appearances if she features against Mali on Wednesday, July 29, or at any other time in the tournament. Most decorated players, Francisca Odega and Osinachi Ohale, they already hold the record of 5 WAFCON titles. 5 WAFCON. It'll take a lot for anybody to get past this. Probably be somebody in the Nigerian team. Fastest goal, Miriam Uji, 17 seconds. That happened in the 2022 edition. That's record for most goals scored in a tournament. Record for most goals scored by a player in a single edition, and that's 11 goals by Perpetua Nkwocha, Nigeria's Perpetua Nkwocha, at the 2010 Women's African Cup of Nations. All right. Overall goals scored in the tournament, 66 goals. 66 goals. All right. So these are some of the things you need to know. And of course, as the days go by, we will be bringing you some of these tidbits, some of this information that you could use and probably store up in your memory just to, keep you informed as we go on with this tournament. All right, let me yield the floor to my colleague as we just briefly touch up on the games, just touch up on the matches. All right. Austin, we said the gap is closing, but you wouldn't expect Nigeria to lose to Malawi.
I totally agree with football analysis. You don't expect Nigeria to lose to Malawi, but if you draw that game, it becomes a problem. Remember how nervy it was against Botswana in the last one. It was, I think, in the dying minutes, I think 1 minute to regulation time, that we struggled to get 1 goal, Chinwendu Wezo, and we defeated Botswana 1-0. Botswana, at a time that we're looking to achieve Mission X. So yeah, on paper, as analysts, as people who have seen the Super Falcons dominate women's football, absolutely, I'll come out and say Nigeria will beat Malawi, But what do I know about Malawi and their football, and the zeal that they have? And don't forget these days, you just have to have the mentality Ghana had when they were playing England at the World Cup, and you'll get a goalless result. They can choose to come out and play dirty. If Coach Justin Madugu and his technical crew don't get it right in terms of tactical analysis on how to break an underdog team, then they will struggle, So, yeah, the Super Falcons should go and beat Malawi, start building momentum at the World Cup of Uluwaji before we get to the Commonwealth Games. That sort of game also is tricky because it's the first game. Teams haven't watched themselves play, so it probably can just go anywhere.
Yes, yeah, very possible. I mean, you can't, when it comes to games of this kind, you can't be 100%, because you have to chance to the opposing team, to the underdogs, because they're underdogs in football. So maybe the Super Falcons will have 8% or 70% chance, and Malawi will actually have 59%. And like I said, it's the fourth game of defending your title. So it comes with pressure. I mean, pressure from the fans back home, pressure that you want to play at the FIFA World Cup, and again, you're playing a side that you've not played, because this is the first time. This is an expanded, Africa women African competition. So I don't think in any way they've actually played Malawi in the preseason But again, Falcons are favorites, but anything is possible, like they say in football.
You know, last time out, it was a slow start.
Yeah.
The fact that we won, a lot of people have forgotten that. You know, even those of us that were singing their praises after they won, after the good sleep, we had given up, we had written them off. So, do you think a slow start can be cost to this time?
I don't think so. I don't think so. If you look at that group,
Just win, it doesn't matter how.
yeah, they just win. I think they will.
And you get your momentum as
gradually as you go. Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess that does it for the Women's African Cup of Nations. All right. Let's talk about the next big thing. Like I said, big sporting events going on at the same time. For choices, let's go now and talk about the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Our next point of stop is the Commonwealth Games. Let's just give you information today for Team Nigeria. Let me just go across now, give you the information about Team Nigeria. How has Team Nigeria fared today, July 24, 2026? Nigeria's Roland Zurike wins silver in the men's lightweight Group A powerlifting event. Zurike accumulated a total of 153.9 points after 2 successful lifts. All right, it's cherry news coming all the way from Glasgow. Ayomide Hassan lost in the round of 32 to Lesotho's Refile tie in the men's 70 kg boxing event. Clinton Opute finishes in the 6th position in the men's 200 meters individual medley. These are some of the results. Esther Nwogu, the highlight of the day for many of us. Esther Nwogu wins gold in the women's powerlifting lightweight event. Nwogu lifted 123 kilograms to improve her own mark and score 119 points. Like I said, that's the high point of the day. Esther Onyema wins silver in the women's powerlifting lightweight event. All right, Nigeria already featuring prominently on the medal table. So these are the things that have happened today. All right. I mean, you can see pictures on your screen, the smiles, happy faces, and Team Nigeria, as always, you know, as always, no matter the odds stacked against Team Nigeria, they always found a way to do some of these things, especially the Paralympians. I mean, also I want to get your thoughts. Target of 20 gold medal has been set, and now with this kind of start, I don't want to call it electric, but still a good start. Do you see us getting to that point?
Yeah, I think we can do just enough to get everybody pumped up, get everybody talking, and I'm so glad that we're getting into it with powerlifting. That's a good way to start. That's Roland Zurike right there. He was so close to winning gold, but he got silver. Roland is 50 years old, you know, and each time we have an opportunity to compete, I always say that you give us reasons to reflect and think about ways that we can improve. That's Esther Nwogu right there and Esther Onyema. Esther Onyema is also an old gun in the sport. We should start thinking of ways to replace them. Gold for Esther Nwogu, silver for Esther Onyema. That's a good one for Nigeria. For Nigeria winning the first gold medal in the women's category. Our women bossed it at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and they're doing the same. But the highlight of the day was Folashade Oluwafemi-Ayo, our winning gold medal in the women's heavyweight category. She broke her record twice, 2 times. You know, and that's what I'm saying, like, when we don't give attention to special sports in Nigeria, I was asked, what are we doing, you know? These athletes, they do just enough to always get us talking. Not just for Folashade Oluwafemi-Ayo. Rita Ferdinand also won silver, but on route winning silver, she broke the world record again. So our powerlifters already lighting up the stage for Team Nigeria to go out there to do what they can do. You know, let them know who we are. We've got the talents, and I'm glad at the NSC they can see it. These guys confined to wheelchairs, yet unstoppable, telling us a beautiful, inspiring story of how you can use sport to make this world a better place, that you can use sport to, you know, empower lives. And when Esther Nwogu made that scream today, I said, good, because I know her. I spoke to her at the Olympics in Paris. She was so close, but she won silver. She said she's coming back, and it starts with the Commonwealth Games. And now she's gotten a gold medal. Sheer determination, dedication from these athletes. So as a country, we must do more, to keep supporting them. I'm glad to look at her right there with Esther Onyema, who's been there, done that in the sport. And, seeing Esther Nwogu going on to win now, it's a beautiful tale of two Esthers. Let's also mention that our basketball 3x3 team, they defeated Cayman Island, and that's also a good one because any opportunity for me to let persons know that Nigeria as a country, we are not just football, I'll take it. Oluwaji, I like it. I like how we started at the Commonwealth Games, but this time I'm not putting emphasis on winning. I'm saying emphasis on sports development. Are you thinking that way too?
Yes, I agree with you. I align with your thoughts. I mean, development is very key. We have to be very consistent with it. And yeah, we've started well, but how far, how long, what's the future? What's the goal right there? Because yeah, we can have, because we've actually scratched good, with this special talent. I mean, I'll go way back. I think they've given us more gold than even the so-called, the able-bodied athletes. And I mean, you have to give them you have to provide an enabling environment where they can actually strive and do much better than what we are seeing right now. Because in as much as we are not doing enough, they still do their own bidding, of preparing so well, of putting in those resilient spirit and all of the attitude and character just to do well at different, events. And it's really great, but development is very key. I think there are still special able bodies who can actually do much more than, all of the records that have been broken thus far at this Commonwealth game. And yeah, we have to just pay special attention to all of that so that, I mean, they can be celebrated. It's not about football in Nigeria, like you said. It's not about football. There are other, sporting events where we actually dominate, and this is one of it.
All right, we're hoping that throughout the duration of the Commonwealth Games, we'll come here and smile the way we are smiling today, because it's a really good day.
Yeah.
It must be said.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good day, and I hope Team Nigeria will keep it up, and I hope every work that the National Sports Commission is putting into this team will bear fruits, because I already hear they're rewarding some of these athletes instantly. I mean, that's what's in the news. And they're not waiting for them to return. They just immediately you do what you're supposed to do. All right, let's switch to football now and talk about, I mean, facilities. If you really want to develop the game, you have to talk about facilities, sports facilities, because that is where the games will be played. Let's go to Niger State and talk about the Bako Kontagora Stadium that is under, that is under works. Is the NFF president Ibrahim Guzo is paid a visit and is there to commence the work that is going on right there. And Boluwaji, one of the things that I like is that, look, we are where we are. Not that we want state government or governments to be doing everything, but that's where we find ourselves. All we can only ask is, if you say you are devoting 200 million naira to something, let that 200 million naira go to that particular, because that's what can bail us out. Individuals and private bodies seem not to be interested because some of the things that they've seen. But this is highly commendable, and it is no surprise that the NFF president is also commending. And I hope that at the end of the day, the facility comes out in tip-top shape.
Yeah, that's the goal of it. I mean, facility in good shape, so that the clubs can use it. I mean, we've been hearing report of some of the teams, for some of the clubs that qualified for the continent, leaving their own stadium and temporarily using,
because it doesn't meet up the standard.
It doesn't meet up. So if you're trying to build a stadium, let it be up to standard. That's the most important thing. I mean, let CAF come and inspect and see that, yes, you guys have done a great job here, and let it be good looking as well. So, I mean, if you meet standard, yes, even apart from Niger Tornadoes, who are the owner of the stadium, every other clubs that are around, neighboring can also
should be able to have access
to it and use it. So I mean, it's commendable what the president is doing alongside the government.
Yeah, I mean, Austin, facilities are meant to be used and maintained. It is not like an expensive dress that you keep in a show glass. No, it's to be used and maintained. I would have loved to hear from other stakeholders, maybe journalists and other people. But let's take it on face value that the NFF president is commending the work. I mean, it is something. But just to play devil's advocate, I would have probably loved to listen to other people. But your thoughts on this one?
It's same, it has always been same. And anyone that has followed my work so far as a journalist would tell that I'm one that speaks for development and facilities and infrastructure development is one that I always push for. If I have a chance to speak to, or if the NFF president was sincere to himself, all he should be telling Governor Bago is maintenance. Maintenance.
Very key.
Maintenance. That's the problem, because we pump so much money into building stadium and sporting facilities, and we just push aside maintenance. That is the core. And if I have my chance to speak to Governor Bago, I'm going to say, hope you're not building stadium or reconstructing it for the next election. They're looking for ground for rally. Because that's been the problem with our sporting infrastructures. Akwa Ibom, that we shout, the Gospel Akwa Ibom Stadium is good. Rally is coming. We see people right there on the pitch. Everybody, the stadiums in most states is just for political rallies. And we must destroy that mindset and start seeing sports as a vehicle for change, as a vehicle for proper business. I don't know what we're doing. Look at the World Cup. People are thinking every day on how to use football, sports to make money, to put it part of the GDP of a country. And that's why every time I have an opportunity to speak to the National Sports Commission, I remind them of the mandate of Mr. President when he brought back the NSC. Build a sports economy. Building a sports economy, this is one of it, because right there you can see the market. Oh, this stadium, if we put it to proper functionality, what can it do for us? So I really hope that we're true to ourselves, we have conscience when we're doing these things with football, sports, so that we can actually get the full benefits. Let's listen to NFF President Ibrahim Bousso and what he said as regards the Bako Kontagora Stadium in Niger State.
We intend to complete this renovation we're doing that will accommodate other teams that are playing away in Niger State to come and play here in the next Premier League. So in the next 30 days, he's going to come here to commission the work we have done. After that, we've also gone around to see our sport academy and also the Niger State Sport Commission, where we intend, to give opportunity to every other person that has skills in sports, not necessarily football, beyond football. But football is a major driver in sports in Nigeria, and as such, we went to look at the training pitch where Tornadoes is also using temporarily, and also to tell them, okay, the good news about the new stadium we are trying to build, a 30,000 capacity stadium, and that will change the entire, landscape of sporting in Niger State, especially football. The stadium is going to come up with a lot of accommodation, hotels, businesses, a complete ecosystem of a global standard international stadium.
Last season, Niger Tornadoes have been on and off playing at home. After some time, they will take them away. They will come back again. Now, the governor has listened to us, and then he decided to make sure that at least that stadium is put back to order, so that Niger Tornadoes will not leave Mina to go and play much elsewhere. And we saw full commitment from him, and as I've said, we'll continue to encourage him. Even people come up with a program that we call Talent Development Hunt, which is to start nurturing young footballers from the age of 15 by trying to establish an academy which he tried to see that it's all-encompassing, going along with education, which is very, very important.
Niger State Governor, the Governor Bago, and the NFF President Ibrahim Bousso speaking about, this progress work going on at the Bako Kontagora Stadium in Niger State. Boluwaji, I've said it, anytime infrastructure development in Nigeria comes to the fore, for me, it's all about maintenance.
Yes, very important. Maintenance, very important. I mean, let the facility, after built and all of that, let it be used judiciously and let maintenance be in there. I mean, we've heard.
Let it be handed over to the sports people.
Yeah.
Let there be a clear-cut definition of what the purpose is for.
Yes.
And Boluwaji, like we said off camera, I don't expect that somebody has to call the secretary to the government before they can use the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't expect political rallies to take precedence over sporting events. These are issues, but time won't allow us to delve into all of that. But even as we hit the home stretch, let's quickly talk about football in Germany. Was kept secret immediately after the World Cup. You always knew Jurgen Klopp is going to be the man at the saddle, and everything is sealed and done. Boluwaji, were you surprised?
No, not particularly, because when Jurgen Klopp left the club, when he left Liverpool, it was like he's not going to return, to the dugout again. But, when a big job like the German team, German FA,
I think the thinking, I may be wrong, and I'm going to allow, even as we go, I think the thinking behind this is you need a manager that's going to bring back the passion, reignite the fans, and also get results. And those are the things that Jurgen Klopp represents.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, also go back to the identity.
Yes.
Right there. Because a lot of, if you look at Spain now, in contrast, I mean, they are embodiment of their own identity.
It's plug and play. Anybody comes in
and do the same thing. So that passion, we've seen it with Klopp, and we'll see it again, fully with the German side.
I mean, Austin, your thoughts on this one? When Jurgen Klopp came to Liverpool, they said it was a masterpiece, very good decision. The results turned out to be so.
Yeah.
A friend of mine said Jurgen Klopp was the biggest signing they had in the last 10 years, bigger than any player that they signed, because it was a foundation for the success. Will it be the same for the German national team?
Look, national team football management, it's different. With club, you are managing the emotions of diverse supporters, followers.
Crucially.
With national team football, somebody will wake up now and try to compare you with Beckenbauer and say that you have now come and destroyed everything. But the good thing about Klopp and this job is, I think he's getting it at the right time. At a time where he commands respect because of the things he's done with club football. He's got the men. He knows how to manage the media, And now he's coming to the job. No matter how big you are as a German player, you will listen to him, And I think he got enough rest to watch, identify the problems, and start seeking solutions, particularly with their woeful World Cup campaign, So he can get us talking. But as I said, national team football, it's different. Go sit down with Carlo Ancelotti. Ancelotti is probably still sipping the champagne and smoking cigar, wondering what happened. And he just got to the World Cup because he thinks he got the team. He has the quality as a manager. But you see national team football, you just can't tell where it is going to. You think I don't know what I'm talking about? Ask Italy why they are not the World Cup. Ask the Super Eagles.
Yeah. Let's throw this in quickly, as fast as we can. Court of Arbitration for Sports set to determine the case of the AFCON final on October 8th. Can they just help us? Can we wait till October?
We have to wait. You have no option. You have to wait.
The suspense is just too much.
It's just too much.
But we have to wait.
Yeah, we have to wait. I think the date is actually far-fetched.
So who are the champions?
Senegal.
Also, as we go, who are the champions?
On the pitch is Senegal.
Senegal, on the pitch.
Morocco. But let me tell you this, my sources in FIFA, they said for this case to be dragging till October, we might, we might just be getting a shocker. We'll see. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap here in the city of Lagos in Nigeria as well. I want to thank Boluaji Jagede for his time on the show today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good to be here.
Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Of course.
All right, that's the show today. We do hope you have enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. Is the last edition for the week. Enjoy your weekend. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.